Welcome to Zentangle Project Pack No.15. This is day 7. My name is Rick.
Hi, I'm Maria, and I'm going to take you on another journey using letters in a little bit different way and kind of fun and something that you could use in some sort of way or another. And we're going to work circularly, and we're going to work with the letters repeating in their regular form.
So it's almost kaleidoscopic here.
Yeah.
I like that.
But also so simple that you don't even really have to think about it.
Right.
So we're going to spell out a word or a name and then work within those parameters after they're down. So you can see that I'm in this sense right here, the L went so seamlessly, and then when I went to put the O down, I made them a little bit bigger, but it's not going to always work that way. So don't depend on that, because we'll be able to fill in with our, little frills afterwards.
And again, we're just looking at letter shapes as patterns and just putting them in one after the other.
You can see that I'm using real simple forms of the letter, nothing fancy. Don't have to be afraid of it.
Right.
And these are such beautiful things to give to friends. And I think Zentangle is all about that. You want to share your stuff with people. And sometimes you're a little nervous about doing it. But if you do something that's very specific for them, that's a true
Right.
gift. And they'll always have it tucked in a frame somewhere or a mirror.
And you can see how Maria's adapting the size of the letter forms to how much space is there, how they interact, and they all are radiating out from that center point.
The only thing that you have to be aware of is that if you have a word that is really long, the letters are going to have to be smaller. So if you write the word on a piece of scrap paper, you can get a sense of how long it's going to be and maybe how big the letters have to be before you get started. So you can see I'm already starting to add some love here. No, pun intended, I guess. And I'm adding little things like these little diagonal rice shapes here in the L's, just to give it this sense of movement. When you start making the patterns go in opposite directions of the initial lines, you'll get some movement, which is really kind of fun, and it adds to the composition.
I also like how you began it, using the idea of dot and border. There's the dot.
Yep, there's the dot in the middle.
And the border,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, so now I'm adding in some things here, simple auras inside the letters. You can already see the letters starting to sort of hide themselves in a beautiful sort of way.
And when you look at it, when it's done and tangled in that way, those orbs now look like orbs, or those circles or O's now look like orbs,
right.
Just in a circle. It's a really nice exercise.
And take your time with this, look at what I do, kind of watch it, and then maybe pause the frames so that you can take your time and enjoy the tangles that are going to be coming off here.
And it's almost as if, like watching you do this, that you're looking at your palette of tangles and say, okay, in this space, which tangle color shall I tangle?
So you could see my mind whirling there a minute ago, trying to decide what I was going to do in there. And my go-to is usually poke leaf, and I thought, I always do that. So in honor of Molly, who absolutely loves poke root, I changed my direction midstream and decided on this.
And the stems are effectively auraing the E.
Yeah, the
so
central.
It's pretty cool.
So our poke roots are just coming out in our yard right now, and they're so exuberant and so beautiful. We cultivate poke root.
Right, and we bring it in and make bouquets out of it.
They're just gorgeous. Okay, so here we're going to go in, do some detail in the O's. It's already starting to look fun, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's now becoming pattern. So you're taking, like the words are being subsumed in the pattern. I like that solid color. I always like that when that happens. So again, a little bit of single crescent moon just popping out in each one of those. And this approach of what is the largest orb you can put in a space and then fill in the interstices on either side of it.
Mm-hmm. So again, we're simply adding some drama in here by filling in the background of the circle within the V. And then little touches. You can see where there's a lot of space that doesn't seem like pattern. You can add lines that, wow, it's, it doesn't really take much. You just little auras that.
Sort of like, well, Nick and Molly were putting in a floor and they put in tiles, and this is sort of like adding grout around the tangles.
Right. Kind of make them hold together. That's a good thought there. Just that. So here we are. I love this, don't you?
Right.
Oh yeah. So I'm taking the stronger graphic pen that we used for the letters, the PN, and going around, kind of holding it together.
And Maria's pushing fairly.
You can see it there. The
pretty
pressure.
hard, I see.
Going off the page, which I kind of like. I'm not a big in the middle of the, tile.
Yeah, we go off the page a lot.
Yeah.
And again, I like what you did here. Having edited it, I know what's coming. But this next touch is something to really consider doing, which is this double aura that's really close together. I think that's so the space is equal to or even less than the width of the line.
Right.
I really like that effect.
Take your time. And this pen and this paper, it has a little bit of a drag, so it's not like you're working on a shiny surface where you lose control of the line.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I love about this Tiepolo, is that it helps you to slow down on your
well, you're really
lines.
interacting with it. There's this. It goes into the paper.
Mm-hmm. So I'm adding some graphite at different points in the circles. Kind of like if you were going to shade a donut. Not that I eat donuts, but if I ate a donut, that's how I shade.
That's how
I would
you would
shade
it.
Yeah.
Right. And you'll again notice that turning the tile, finding the nice, comfortable part for your hand, and guiding, for the most part, the tip of the pen to where you want it to. I mean, the tip of the pencil. So how you shade it is like what you want to bring out and emphasize.
So I'm also putting more focus on the border around the edges by doing this, having it be even more. This
Right.
is more.
And that double aura there becomes even, the gap between it becomes even more bright with the shading up against it. And of course the tortillon really invites the graphite into the paper, softens the edges.
If I've not said this before, I applaud or thank Molly for bringing tortillons into my life, because I used to just rub it with my fingertip and I thought, well, that's good enough, until she brought this in and said, Mom, you really should use this. There's more control, there's more things you can do with it, and it's precise, and it doesn't get your finger all dirty, and anyway, that's what we do.
You can see what Maria just did there was to go back in over where the tortillon had smoothed out the graphite to just increase the contrast a little bit.
Right.
Nice.
So I'm going in with that orangey color, is it?
Yeah, I think
and
so.
we're going to put in like a Bronx cheer in here, which I love doing these.
Yeah.
Honestly, you can just fit them right up close together, and then when you put in another row, it's just almost like the sunflower packing, the
Right.
seed packing, right?
Well, you can see how overlapping they're done, and then that little highlight that's left by not completely closing in.
Look how easy that is
Right.
to create something so beautiful. Look at that. Look
Right.
at that.
It
Little-
really shines out.
Yeah, a little bit of graphite around the edge, and it makes the middle pop out because it's the lighter part. Look at that. Ah. How cool is that? Love you.
I like the contrast between the orange and the brown too. That's really sweet.
Yeah. I'm going to hang one of my M's here.
And just enjoy finding different ways that you might include your chop on your tangles.
Well, I had that big space there that I wanted to kind of
Okay.
confiscate.
I get it.
A little string. I don't
Right.
clip my strings when I tie them. Just leave them.
I like watching the thought process that you go through, and I think that taking a moment to appreciate where your tile is and then what the next stroke should be is a really nice thing. Just for people to, know you don't have to go right to the next step.
So you can see I'm looking at this, and I'm probably squinting and saying, what does this need? Maybe it's not done yet. So I'm going back in and bringing more concentration on the letters. The L's were setting back more so than the other letters. And so I'm going to bring the L's a little bit more to life.
Right?
Yeah.
There you go. Really nice.
Good stuff. I hope you enjoy that. Because we're doing another one here with a smaller letters, and I'm doing my sister Rachel's name. Rachel's a little bit longer than Love, but you can see I'm working in a smaller format.
And fitting the letters almost like aura-ing the A into the R.
Right. Be aware of how things fit together and what opportunities you're going to have, like fitting that A up into the R. Those are things that you take advantage of once they come in front of you.
And I like what you're doing in this one is sort of alternating the letters and then the little interstices between each one as you go.
Yeah, and the H was just a pretty simple thing there, but adding those orange beads was just fun. It was fun. Now I'm just putting a big leaf in there. My poke leaves, I love them because you can manipulate them to fit into pretty much any kind of a space, and I think that's why they were used in ancient manuscripts, is because they could easily fill a background. And it never lost sight of the fact that it was a leaf.
Right, because it can go into a corner really nicely,
Yeah.
whereas like the poke root can only go so far into a corner.
Right.
So just going around again, the essence of pattern is repetition. And once you pick one thing and repeat it all the way around, it's got this lovely, again, kaleidoscopic effect.
I had so much fun doing these. I actually did a bunch of them. I mean, there's never a loss for a word that comes to you. Or maybe sometimes somebody says a word to you during the day that has some sort of profound meaning. And you want to think about it more. So you do the word up and tuck it in your own mirror. Give it a gift to yourself.
Maria has a small journal that is just dedicated to fun words. So she'll
just to words.
Write the word and the definition, and of course it's embellished in very beautiful ways. And again, going back to those spaces and what could we add in there to add to the pattern.
Hi, Rachel.
Beautiful.
I'm going to have to tell her to watch.
Right.
So we're going to shade this one a little bit differently. I'm going putting some graphite where those beads are. So not so much over the letters, but between the letters. And it doesn't show it there, but I'm actually putting down quite a bit of graphite. And then I'm going to one side of the graphite, not to both sides. So now it's gonna be like looking at a ballerina twirling from the ceiling,
okay.
from a ceiling angle.
That works.
What was that on Jackie Gleason, where they used to have the dancers and they'd have a mirror, a camera on the ceiling, watching them move and twirl and. No, was it
Lawrence Welk?
Oh, man, maybe, I don't know. They had dancers.
So now we're using shading, or Maria's using shading as aura, and just having that pencil tip following the previous line. I love that effect.
Oh, it's an easy effect. And you have so many possibilities in that pencil that you hold in your hand. It's like this unlimited book that was given to you, or a magic trick.
And it works because of the contrast. So that gap is what makes that effect so powerful. It's like somebody, rough scissor cut the outside around that aura and just put it down. Nice touch. Great. Those last little touches, right? Look at that.
Who wouldn't love this, right? Got this in the mail? What a card or a letter. Here's one that says Richard, which I never write. I don't think I have ever said it out loud,
Right.
I don't think of you as a Richard, but I wanted a longer name there. You could see.
So have fun with all this, and hide those treasured characters or letters or words, and
send a letter to someone.
Send a letter.
Send a letter, Maria. How was?
Okay, enjoy, and we will see you in the next video.
See ya.
Bye now.
Bye.